Please introduce yourself and tell us in one line who you play and what your character fits in the story.
Hi, I'm Dave Dastmalchian. I play Kurt, and Kurt is a former inmate at San Quentin, and he's a friend and roommate of Scott Lang's.
My name is Tip Harris. I play Dave. He's a former inmate, I believe, at, was it Lompoc or somewhere like that? Another prison of some of sorts. And I played the wheelman, getaway driver, and I guess the route technician on the heist for Ant-Man.
Hi, my name is Miguel Antonio Vega de la Peña, and I'm the one who introduces Paul to his mentor, who later becomes Ant-Man, and I'm his best friend, cellmate. We struggle a lot. Life is hard, but it's okay now.
Okay, Michael. Your character has some very funny moments. Was the character written like that, or did it evolve as the filming went along?
Initially, it wasn't written like that. It was, Edgar Wright. The first one, the first script that I read was with Edgar Wright, and it was, he was part of it, but it was always going to evolve. And then, I got attached pretty early. I was just talking to Paul, and like on the day we would like rewrite stuff, and I'm basically imitating somebody from Chicago, so I know the way the guy talks and what I think is funny when he says these things. So like I would just rewrite little things in there and then improv. Like I saw the movie yesterday, and I don't remember saying half the stuff, which usually is the improv.
T.I., the van you guys use to pull jobs is almost like a character in that it changes over the course of the film. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, we started with a very, very, very humble, modest van, and as the heist or the occasion calls for it, we have to add different utility-driven things, and I think by the end of the movie, it turns into a full-blown hero Ant-Man mobile.
David, how did the three of you play off each other's energy, and were there moments when it was hard to keep a straight face?
One of the best things about the scene work for me was getting to play off of my scene partner's energies. Paul, kind of sets the tone, and then these guys are, they're everything. I mean, every line that I had is in response to them, and so the answer to the second part of your question was, I don't know how I kept a straight face. Every day I would show up for work, and I just kept being afraid I was going to ruin these great takes. These guys would do this stuff that was so ridiculous and funny, and I would hold like under the table at the kitchen just because my character's pretty over it all. Kurt is like, life is whatever it is. This is life. It stinks. These guys are idiots. So I'm trying to be that guy while inside I'm like, stop. It was a challenge, to say the least.
Okay. Michael, what was it like working with Paul Rudd?
It was great. It was the first time, that I got to work with the guy. And, there's sometimes when you get on set and, there's a person who's like starring in a movie that presses that forward. And, it doesn't lead to much room for growth. Here, he was so collaborative, and immediately, especially with all of us, he wanted to make this count, So he was like, we were constantly trying to, see how we could all say something or be in the, and be like a group, and it was definitely the what'd you say, the entourage?
The entourage.
Entourage was definitely like a collective effort.
Great. T.I., what was your favorite part about making a Marvel superhero film?
My favorite part about it, I believe, was the spontaneity of all the scenes. I mean, to have to actually go into a scene with no preparation, not knowing any lines, any premise of any of it until you get on scene and like, okay, here's what we're doing today. Just that whole, just the spontaneity, I think, just not knowing what you're doing from day to day.
David, how did director Peyton Reed rein all of you guys in, and what is his directing style?
Peyton Reed is a dream to work with, especially on a film like this, because he loves and knows the comic books encyclopedic knowledge he has. And we bonded over that, and he would know what each scene was about, so he knew like what had to happen. And he was really open. I was so amazed and surprised, considering the breadth and the size of this film, the way we get into a scene. And he knew that, like, okay, this information has to be conveyed. You guys do that. Let's do the lines that are on the page. And then he would open it up. And he was really encouraging. He'd run in. He's like a kid. I love it. You know, he's got that excitement about filmmaking that you love in great directors. And he'd run back in after a take, and he'd go to each of us, be like, oh, that was great. That was great. You know, let's try this. Let's try that. So it created he's a really positive leader, and I think that's such a great quality in a director, you know, made for a really fun experience.
This is for each one of you. So can each one of you tell us what word would you use to describe this film and why?
I would describe this film as heartfelt, and that's because it's a film that past all the excitement, the adventure, the sci-fi elements of it, it's a movie about family and about people finding their true like inner heroes.
Heroes redemptions.
One word? Do you want one word?
Yeah, I figured I'd be used to. Since he used like 200, I figured I'd use 2.
Satisfying. Which is surprising and satisfying. God, that's such a satisfying movie.
It's satisfying. It's satisfying.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I don't know.